Okay, this is George with Truck Driver Nation. I know this has begun. Usually it says, hey, we're fixing to begin recording. So we're with Truck Driver Nation, and what we want to discuss is a lot of people have asked, and we've seen a lot of commentary on this. A lot of people about getting your Filipino, they act like it's a product. When I hear them speaking on these YouTube channels, I'm like, purchased a Filipino. Weird. Okay. But anyways, that they don't come with the ears. You actually have to buy cereal here. Only on a special promotion that come with the koala ears. So, but she's koala, but she's moves like a sloth, and her name is Flash as well. Coincidental for y'all to get that. But what we're going to do is we're going to discuss what it took to actually get the K1. Um, she's used to seeing herself on TV type of thing. If you hear any background noise, we have people out back working. And this is one of the few opportunities we have the energy because we actually run a business called Truck Driver Nation. But my wife actually covers a lot of this stuff and what she did for the process. We kind of walked through it. We used AI to kind of fill in some of the gaps to make sure we wasn't missing none of the content. But believe it or not, I think we did it on our own. And would you say it was hard? What do you think?
No, I don't think it's hard.
What do you think the biggest part of the problem was?
As long as you know how to organize things.
She's OCD, so there's a difference. But if you got somebody that don't want to do that, then they're going to have a hard time. But so, anyways, we got the paperwork. She filled it out. I filled it out the first time. First time we filled it out, we watched people. We were all over the place. We thought we had to have, when we put our windows in the house. I mean, we were getting everything, but it turned out we didn't really need as much stuff as we anticipated. But that being said, we actually got us a cheat sheet here over here on this side of our computer, and we're going to kind of go down the list what you're going to need. So the first thing we did was that the I-129L. We did a K1 visa because I'm going to tell you what I know, and then she's going to tell you what she knows. In order to get married, we're going straight to Colorado. Got to get married within 90 days of getting the K1 visa. How was it? 30 days?
Within 90 days, you
No,
need to be married.
Once we leave the Philippines, correct?
Yeah, like when we land there from then, first day to 90 days, you need to be married.
So what we found is in Colorado, they don't care. Bring your birth certificates, go down there, slap the cash on the deck, and she belongs to you. So we're going to do that. And obviously, we're getting a motorhome. We'll take her around the United States so we can visit. Yes, we have a home address. At 55 years old, I'm still using my mother's address. Talk about living at home. The last thing my mother would have would be me being in the house. But the deal is, we're going to run around and obviously see where we're going to live, find the land, and have the motorhome kind of set it up with no restrictions. Now that I've lived in the Philippines, the American mindset on how much money you got to pay for a house has definitely changed. And I'm very blessed because she's real liberal, real simplistic about her needs. Is she high maintenance? As long as you do the facial and all the other maintenance that goes along with this package, then you're in good shape. But in the Philippines, it's pennies on the dollar. In the United States, I might have to do the DIY type of thing. So I'll get me some heavy duty crazy glue and whatever else, and I'm gonna work it out.
Or once a month may have to be once a year.
It may be. Maintenance. There's no telling what this is going to look like. The next thing, we submitted it to the USCIS. Where did we send that down to for that K1?
Somewhere in Texas.
Yeah, remember the name?
It was not particularly, but we could put it in the description box.
No, you need to tell them on here. That's the whole point. People are not going to want to do the description. So we sent it to the USCIS. How much money did we spend to submit it?
I think it was $500 or $600, somewhere in between.
Okay. And approval time, 6 to 12 months. It varies. We're probably looking at more like 18 months. Right now, we're almost at the funding stage. Everything's going smooth. So what's our next step at this point? What are we waiting on?
The 6 to 12 months, that's only for the approval of your petition. The form I-129F. Ours was approved, I think we submitted it June, and then it got approved, I think, January. Yeah, I think January, we submitted it like 2025 and then it got approved 2026 already.
And
That's
what are we
only
waiting
for
on
the
right now?
approval.
What step are we in?
So it's been approved. When you get approved, you will receive the approval notice of action or NOA. That's the first one is the approval of your petition. And they will mail the result if you're approved or rejected to the mail address that you indicated to your form. Because it's like 12 or 13 pages of a form.
Now, we originally set it to Illinois, and she had to do a change of status address, I believe.
Change of address.
So she did the
Yes.
change of address, so now it's going down to my mother's, because people I thought I could depend on found out they're not so dependable.
So currently, to answer his question, we're now waiting for the NVC, which is the National Visa Center. So that means your petition is now being forwarded from the United States to the National Visa Center. Whether for me, we're in the Philippines, so it'll be forwarded to Manila. That's the main city of Cebu or the Philippines. So then we'll have to wait. Right now, I think we've been waiting from the approval, uh,
About 4 weeks.
February, March, April, May. So, but I think I only found out already a month after it got approved. So probably a month or two, almost 2 months now since
So
we
basically,
submitted.
we're looking at less than 2 weeks. Their overall finishing this process is about 4 months, maybe 5 months. But by that point, we're ready to get out of here. And literally, if you're going to live in the Philippines and stay with her while y'all are doing the whole process, don't buy a bunch of stuff. We are going to lose not tons of money, but we're dumping it. I'm not sitting here and playing yard sale. Nobody has no money here, so it's delusional to think that. There's going to be some people that we have a little bit favoritism for. Now, they've never asked us for nothing. They just seem like good people. They might not even have the money to even afford the electricity to power the refrigerator because we bought brand new equipment. But that being said, we're bringing our dogs back with us and stuff like that. But that being said, so we sent it to the National Visit Center. We were assigned a case number when?
So let's say it was approved January, then I received the assigned case number from the National Visa Center on March 31. So today is April
The 30th.
30th of April. So it's already 1 month that we've been waiting. So there are different steps. The first step is the filing the form for the petition itself. Then the next is the NVC processing. So that's the first one is your case or your petition, approved petition has been sent out to NVC, and then the case number, which I've been given on the 30th or 31st last month. And then after that, the NVC will transfer your petition to US Embassy to that particular location where you're located at. To me, it's Embassy in Manila, US Embassy in Manila. So after that, by the way, before you proceed, the second one, obviously, if you're rejected, because I tried once, I called USCIS, and because AI is letting me just go around the bush, it's not letting me speak to someone. So I thought, okay, I'll make a mistake intentionally with my case number, and then that number was rejected. So if you're rejected, obviously you cannot proceed with the next step.
Now, what she's saying, let me convert it to English. She skipped stuff. She actually used somebody else's case number indirectly, and it gave their results, and they had been denied. So that's the humor behind it. So I was like, as long as it wasn't ours, because that money you don't get back, it's non-refundable. So you have to just be aware of that. But that being said, just to give you some background here for a second, I've been here about 4 years. I've been with her 3 years of this time. I just came here. I thought I had somebody was lined up. I dated her from the United States. Don't do that. Meet these people and meet them eye to eye. She can't live without me, literally. She hurts. She's as redneck as they get. She's got cowboy boots at this point, and she's starting to get a southern drawl. But that being said, you know, it's all about the ears. So as long as you got the ears, you're good. But but yeah, you know, it was don't just assume what people, you know, you have this tendency, you do whatever your character is. I try to be honest about what I am. Do I have a life full of mistakes? Yes, of course. Welcome to being thrown on Mother Earth. But that being said, yeah, just make sure you're going to be here with them. You know, I don't trust nobody. I got a bad trust issue. I just think everybody's always looking out for their own agenda because we run businesses and stuff like that. And she's obviously in the last 3 years, she has learned logistics backwards and forwards. So, you know, that relationship that you've got to prove, I'm not really worried about that part because we are stuck at the hips. We very seldom, we work from home. We're always together. We travel together. We go to other countries together, all that good stuff. So she's literally a lot younger than me. She's basically 29. I'm 55. You know, I'm the only one that has a problem with it. I just wish that these young girls wouldn't take advantage of us older cougars or whatever. You know what I mean? But no, we're good. She's good people. We've both got our stories. You know, she's actually a house cat, so her story is very limited life experience. I'm opening her up to a whole new world, and the United States is probably going to split her brain, but we're going to see about that. But make sure you got everything lined up. You know, like even for my salaries, her salary, you know, she gets it through mainly Western Union now. We were using Remitly, so she actually produces a good salary since she's married to the boss type of deal. The thing is, it helps us out in that way. The next thing we're going to look at, talk about too, about this DS-160 online application. What did that cover?
So that is the third step after the NVC processing, right? DS online application is while the Form I-129F is like a petition for your visa together with the information of the petitioner, which is the American citizen. This time, that DS-160 online application is for me as the beneficiary. Beneficiary meaning it's like me directly sending my application that, hey, my application with my fiance has been approved. These are all my personal information. So you fill all that out. That way, the NVC or the Philippine immigration officer or the US Embassy in Manila will be aware who they're dealing with. So they're reading you by the paper.
Now, there's only one place that you really can get the medical aspect of it.
Is in St. Luke's Medical Center. This is only because we're in the Philippines. For you, it may be different, but they have only particular clinics or hospitals that they will set you an appointment with. You cannot just say, oh, I want to go to Chonghua or I want to go to that particular whatever because you have all the history in that hospital. You can't because they have their lists of locations where they'll take you to.
And right now, so if we go over once approved, yes, we know the next steps. Once we're approved, it's basically grab her, put her in a check on luggage, and off we go. That saves me give or take around $2,500 because obviously we do the first class thing because I'm not sitting in a coach for no 25 hours, 24 hours. It's not happening. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
But that's only for the medical exam. So after the online application, then the medical exam, then it'll be the visa interview at US Embassy to your location, embassy to your location. That is like in-person interview if it is indeed a relationship or is it one night stand. You know, if they ask you, where does your fiance live and you can't even answer it, so good luck, right?
Yeah, we've got 3 years, so she knows all the good stuff about me. I've hit all the bad stuff. You know, we've been through some stuff here. Let me tell you, it was a challenge. It wasn't easy in the aspect of maintaining our relationship because we've been pushed to the edge more than once. You know, just frustration, the financial aspect that I'm in logistics. We had to convert everything to a work from home type of position. Now she knows logistics like the back of her hand. She lives and breathes it, deals with Americans. We outsource to the Philippines, help a lot of people actually transition over into logistics now. So that's been one of the beneficiary things of actually having the skill set that I have and obviously the basic knowledge base because I've been outside of software for a while. I'm not a developer. I was basically a technician for a long time, but I always played with it when I was at the university. And so understanding that, the platform, but still understanding how that worked was a challenge. And we did overcome it, but we're obviously always looking for the best thing because there's so much integration now. So we're still on that. Now, as far as the K1 visa, when it's issued, obviously they're going to put that stamp on the passport. That passport arrives back to her, and then we should be good to go. I'll have to do an exit visa on mine because we were here 2 years. We went to Hong Kong, went to China. She got more stamps to prove that she can actually leave her dog pen and she'll make it back to the house type of thing. And of course, she'd been to other countries, but they were all visa-friendly countries. Now, obviously, we looked at in the sense we had such an upspring of fuel costs, and it changed the flight price that we were going to go to Costa Rica, and we just kind of stood down from that. In fact, the rental car that we've got now, we just don't move around much. We have a motorcycle. We converted it to a trike kind of thing with a roof over it and built a trailer for our pit bulls. So now we're going to actually probably move around these last 4 months back on the bike. So we're kind of humbling up because that's about $1,000 a month. And we just don't feel like wasting that money. You know, it's something that it doesn't profit as much. But during the hot months, you need a rental car here. But that being said, we're going to go to Colorado. She'll have her birth certificate in hand. As soon as we get there, we'll get married. And then at that point, we'll start traveling the United States. I know where to go. I'm raised in the country. I know the United States. Drove 18-wheelers for 24 years. So I completely know where to be, and obviously I know what to say to people. A lot of people just assume because they're traveling, they're not so used to engaging with the industries or inside the logistics industry. So it doesn't matter if I'm at a place. I don't care if it's a receiver, whatever. I'll let go up there. Look, I'm in that. I'm a truck driver. I am now trying to enjoy my life. Can you let me stand here on the lot? I'm not going to get in no trouble. I've got my truck, I've got my CDL and all that good stuff. I'm just not going to go back on the truck. I'm still in logistics 100%, and I'll do this to the day I die. What else? Must enter within visa validity, usually 6 months. So apparently, after you get the visa, you got 6 months. Okay, you got to get inside the United States and get married. It's like stopping at the gas station getting gas. You know how easy it is. So we'll get married within that 90-day period, and we'll be ready to go.
So
Now, go ahead.
visa is when you get the visa, you have the validity, which is like your floating duration to be staying in the Philippines. It's like an expiration date. In 60 days, you need to be able to leave and use that visa before it expires. So after that duration, say you landed whichever states in the US, then within 90 days, you are required to use that duration 90 days to get married. Because otherwise, it'll be forfeited.
Now, once we get there, we'll have to do an adjustment of status. That will actually be the part where we're actually seeking to get her green card. During that adjustment of status, that's going to be the form. What it was? Oh my goodness, let me get it for you. I don't want to tell you lies. That's going to be the I-485. That'll get her work permit and her travel permit available during the process. During that one, she'll need for the petition stage for the U.S. citizenship. But really, we're going to do the change of status, get the green card first. Then we'll actually do the thing for the citizenship and proof of relationship, photo, chats, calls. That's just key documents needs. We'll already be past that. Now, she will have to get an MBI, and the PSA is her birth certificate. And what is the CINAMAR? That's going to be...
These are the requirements that you need to compile back to first step. This is like the summary of the paperwork you will need as a Filipino. So there are a list of paperwork that you will need to have while you will be filing the petition, which is again the form I-129F.
Now, once we get all past this, the part I was going to tell you about credit. So you guys or ladies will understand about how that works. Once we get there, we have to get transition over. Then she'll be able to get a social security number. Her credit will still be zipped because none of the agencies in the FICO, we've already looked at this because, we're looking at property. My credit ain't bad, but it sure ain't the best. So we're talking about pretty significant down payment on whatever we plan on doing, 25 to 45%. So that being said, just keep that in mind. So protect your assets or protect your credit while you're actually getting her moved to the United States. I didn't because I was out of hand and I just neglected it. I wasn't necessarily late on payments, but I was not using the credit line the way it should have been. and I had a motorhome I was buying and all that stuff, and I let it go back to the banks. And obviously, after that, that's it. That's going to kill you. But that being said, once you get there, it takes about 2 months before her to get a credit. Credit score will be somewhere between the 600 and 700 range. At 6 months, get her credit, let her start establishing it, whatever she's getting, credit cards or whatever it is, and then that'll let it build up. I can't do nothing right now because we're not in the United States and she don't have a social security card. So that's the part that kind of sucks. But I can put her as an authorized user. So as we get that, you can do it even now. But we're waiting until we get back home to do the authorized user. So she's in fact some cards she's already authorized user. But that being said, that she's better at bills than I am. So she stays on point, keeps it down below that 10% and make sure everything's paid beforehand. It doesn't make it actually to the due date. So that's been one of those things that's been a plus. Outside of that, let's see. You got your police exam, the medical exam, the affidavit of support. Now, for your affidavit of support for you guys and girls, I think I have 5 years that I have to actually support her. Really, apparently don't even in because they don't want them to be on our public programs like food stamps, what are other programs? I don't even know because I don't ever mess with them because I work. Okay, I'm the one to help support those programs. But that being said, they don't want you on there, so you have to prove. You don't really have to prove much. It's like $28,000 to $29,000. If I had to live at that, I might as well stick a gun in my mouth. But that being said, obviously we exceeded that. She did the taxes since I was here for 4 years. So I had saved money up when I got here, and we kind of went through that. And then we started having to build this other business. We were making some money, not great money. It wasn't until later on when we started making good money. She handled doing the taxes. She literally did the what we did
TurboTax
1040 with Schedule C. So she did all that. And if you actually end up staying here for the duration, if you exceed 360 something days,
I think only 330 days.
then you can actually get being out of the country type of tax exemption called the what?
Something like FEI. But the consultant said that TurboTax consultant said that apparently you're only eligible if you're actually earning not in the United States, like not from the US dollar.
Yeah, and I earn everything from the United States.
Yeah, so that disqualified us.
I'm not working for a peso. And who's going to make $29,000 working for a peso when it's 61 pesos to $1 today, as far as I
know? We filled out the sole proprietor, some crap, 10.
Yeah, LLC, standard LLC. Proof of relationship updates. We got photos of everything. When we're happy, when we're fighting, when we're traveling, when she's in jail, type of thing. So, but explain how that worked out for us. How did you do that? Because she did everything, make sure everything was in sequence. We do have some countries you leave and go to don't actually have passport stamps. They give out little card sheets of paper, but it's actually a legitimate visa stamp type of deal that you can keep. Yeah. So she keeps up track of those. And, I don't know how long they last. They're on thermal paper from what I can tell, but that stamp is there.
I think for this type of visa application, K1 visa application, I don't find it difficult. As long as you know where your papers are, as long as maybe because it's easy for us because I've never been married, I don't have a kid, I don't have nothing in me, so it's very easy for me to just provide my birth certificate, my certificate of no marriage, police clearance, then the proof of relationship. NBI, as long as you don't have problem, like you've never been in jail or some crap, it'd be definitely easy. So proof of citizenship for petition. So this is back to first one, just so it's clear for Filipinos. Proof of U.S. citizenship, passport, or birth certificate. This is for your petitioner or your American fiance. So it is required for you to have a clean picture of their passport and or birth certificate. For us, I both have them, his passport and his birth certificate. Proof of relationship may be photos, chats, calls, or their visits, if they just visited here and they didn't really live here. Intent to marry letter. So this intent to marry,
What did that letter, what you wrote that up? What did it look like?
what, it's fine. It's just
No,
intent to
what did
marry.
it look like? What did you put into it so they can understand?
Intent to marry is just like your plan when you land there. When did you meet?
You didn't get
Obviously,
crazy saying, "Oh, he's all up into me.
no.
He can't live without me," type of stuff. Okay.
It's simple. You just leave a comment if you want the template. I find it simple, brief and concise and easy to understand. But that I did for me and for him and for both of you. So it's not as if you're just making it for your own. Instead, there's three of it, and both of you should sign it. You know, for embassy stage. So when it gets approved, your passport needs to be valid at least 6 months and up. Birth certificate, even though you have passport, they will still require you to have your PSA. I forgot what that stands for, but y'all know that already. Senomar, certificate of no marriage. So on this part, if you don't go.
I'm not meaning to. I did an affidavit for mine. I did a U.S. affidavit. So that's a test that I'm not married. Okay. And for my previous divorce, I was a kid, 25 years old at that point. She had that as well. So she sent that in. Criminal records, I don't have no criminal record, but it says some stuff, if you got it, you got to have those background records on your stuff. What that entails, I really don't know. So I didn't have a lot of restrictions on my side neither that would really hold us up. Even though I'd been married, I was like, this is going to be a problem. We actually had to send, we paid like $100 just to have a letter shipped by DHL 3 or 4 days or 7 days, whatever it took to get here. So go ahead and make sure you got all that paperwork in your hand. That's anything to do with the government that tracks your life. So you're gonna make sure you need that because everyone want to know. I don't know why you have a criminal record would even matter. I mean, if you served your time, you served your time. But your debt to society. And as far as what else was it? That's really it, I guess.
So for Americans, because I've been discussing mine as Filipino for women, for you guys or women too, if you're looking at getting your papers directly from the United States to the Philippines, know that DHL so far I think is the fastest. You can get it within 3 to 4 days, usually when we
You
pay
pay
for
for it?
DHL. Yeah, when we pay for
No,
DHL,
I mean, you're really paying for it. A sheet of paper, $100,
you get
not
what you pay
including
for.
paying for getting it from the agency.
There's also FedEx, USPS, and
USPS,
yeah, I can't
you
suggest
do
the
FedEx,
USPS.
DHL. That's the
Yeah.
only two that I would advise. DHL would be number one.
Yeah.
On my
So if you're doing these paperwork, you may want to just use DHL just so you're aware. Police clearance, I'm cool with that. That'll be for you, Filipino. Medical exam results. So I
make sure
guess
she don't have worms.
so know that they will have vaccines and all that crap. There's no exemption. I guess if you're fully vaccinated, you have the paperwork, they'll, let
And
you
she's
through.
had the COVID. I know everybody's going to say, I don't want to hear all that crap about the COVID stuff. I didn't have the choice. I would never be able to get out of the United States without doing it at that point because I travel. I don't really like sitting at the United States. I love the country, but I like moving around. But she's had that vaccine, and then in addition, whatever they want her to have her rabies shot, whatever she has, dewormer, you name it. But she's got to get that. So we'll take her to the clinic, make sure she's up to speed.
So these are common interview questions. These aren't guaranteed. Some people will just ask you when's your fiance's birthday and you got mentally blocked.
I'm literally going to tell them like this. If they would ask me, hell, I don't even remember my mother's birthday sometimes. You know what I mean? Because she bounces around for her age, right? I don't know why they ask that stuff. There should be a clear enough digital footprint for everybody to know what's what. Why they ask that stuff. I love her. Don't get me wrong, but I really don't care what her birthday is. I'm not into all that. I'm not come from a family that's like that. it's mainly military family. You know, we celebrate life because we have each other, not because when you came out of the eggshell. But that being said, you know, just get her prepped on the basic things that, you know, like where you met. I literally met her at Domino's Pizza. And if it wasn't been able to her giving me free cinnamon rolls, I probably would have never showed back up. So I was like a dog hunting free scraps. But because Domino's Pizza tastes about as close to the best pizza I could find here. And she worked behind the counter, wibbling and wobbling. And she's like, "Oh, what did you think of me?" I didn't think much of you, baby. You give me free cinnamon rolls, I'm all yours. But no, it's
Questions like, what does your fiance do for work? So if you can't answer that,
what do
if
we do
I'm
for
the
her?
if I'm the immigration officer, I would think that, oh my God, was this one night stand? How long have you been together? Is the letter of intent matched with your answers? It's a trick or treat type of thing, you know?
Yeah. Because you don't know everything about my life. I mean, we discuss it, but unless you're living it in action, you know, it took me forever to decipher this because they're introverts. I've unintroverted her to figure out who in the hell her sister was, who were their brothers, you know, that type of thing. Why I got to pull teeth to figure out who you are? You know, United States just run a fingerprint. You know everything about us to the most part, but then you just got to communicate. You know, we communicate all the time. We're literally like this all the time. We're always together. I mean, but yes, you definitely need to make sure that she knows who you are. You know, not all your deepest, darkest secrets if you don't trust her on that platform yet, but yeah. But she digs for information on me too. Like, you know, should she call me Big Daddy or just Daddy? You know?
So, um, like now, common delays or issues. Before you send that to the United States from DHL, from Philippines DHL to the United States, right?
Yeah, DHL even going there, by the way. In which
Make
way it's got you're gonna be paying. Sorry, go ahead, man.
make sure that all the paperwork and all the information are fully filled out, because on top of 6 months to 1 year wait time just for the approval
Non-refundable
of your
again.
petition
Non-refundable
and
again.
non-refundable for your transaction,
I wasn't filling that
that
part.
will be either delayed or rejected.
Now didn't you have to do, besides the address, didn't you have to do one more update or something? Was there anything or am I wrong?
That was just
That was
the
it?
I only had to update the address because you anticipate things. You don't want to wait for negative stuff to happen first. So what I did is I just went to, I forgot the website, but I went to, I think it's USCIS somewhere there, because when you call them, um the IVR will say, if you have to change your address, we can send you the link to this phone number you're calling from, blah blah blah. So they will send it to you, and then just have it updated there. You don't have to fill out a form by pen or by hand to send it there. Apparently, they can just, you can just update it to their website, to your account online, and then they can, moving forward, if they have to send you, for instance, the NOA 2 or notice of action 2, the second notice from them, may it be by email or by mail. So you want to make sure that that's updated.
And the worst time to call him's on Monday. She pulls her hair out, gets frustrated, laying here on the couch, trying to get somebody to answer that phone.
Yeah, I'm still yawning because we work nights.
Yeah, we work
until
nights.
the morning.
And when you're dealing with them, you're doing it at night too.
Yeah, and like the US time here, daytime there is nighttime here. So
We're 13 hours ahead of them right now because we're still on daylight. No, I mean, we're on summertime or whatever you want to call it. So
yeah, and you have the meetings, you have to wake up earlier, you have a nap an hour, 3 hours, that's it. So sorry if I'm yawning. But yeah, anticipate things. You don't want to send them paperwork and just get rejected. As I said, when I called them last night, I said WAC blah blah blah, and only one digit. I intentionally made that mistake just so to test the IVR, if okay, they can't find that, maybe they'll give me a representative, but they did. Instead, what I heard is that test receipt number that I did was rejected. And I feel bad.
Yeah, she hit a valid number. I
Yeah,
found out somebody else's application was rejected. Don't know who they were. Did it tell you their name or anything?
No, they don't give that information. Just general information, whether it's approved or not. But they don't give you other information otherwise,
So I think they probably tell them, put her back where you found her. You can't.
Yeah. So don't feel panic or anxious that you'll get that,
It gets,
just
dude,
make sure you
it
got
gets
it right.
rough because we're ready to go. I mean, I'm biting at the bit. I don't hate the Philippines, but the United States, we have it all. And it's just, I don't mind going on a vacation and being all right for a minute, but this has been pushing on 4 years. I'm ready to get back to the house. I got people in logistics, they're all on standby. People wonder, well, who am I? The transparency and all that stuff about what we do. A lot of people trust me because one, I'm in logistics. There's no way of mistaking that. But the thing is, you're handing away your money for somebody to teach you how to do what we do, work from home. A lot of people are skittish about that, and I get it. And some people wait months before they finally decide to use us because we have the best program there is. I give them everything. And 30 years of experience, I don't nickel and dime. Here it all is. If you can't make heads or tails, I mentor you and that type of thing. So make sure when you come here, we put another video on how you need to make money while in the Philippines. Is it important, baby?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you're Filipina or whoever you're with, don't know how
You're not going to make enough money here
to handle finances. If both of you living like American, oh my God, you'll get broke.
Yeah, because we're literally at $4,000 we're spending a month. Of course, we make that well over that because of what we do. But that being said, we're reducing down, so they're coming to get the car this afternoon. The boys have been out there; they've already cleaned it. So we got like VAs and people that show up that we pay them money to do things that most people here ain't got jobs. So that's a bad situation. But that being said, they went out there and cleaned the car. She kind of points and directs and gets everything done, and it's super cheap. It's worth more to me to be here working on things. But that being said, just
so if
prepare yourself if you're going to come stay with your most loved one.
So if you're here, this is the best time for you to actually save, because even though the lifestyle here or the things are cheap,
Cost of living.
Yeah, the cost of living is lower than the US dollar, being in the United States. You still want to balance things or make adjustments. Like for us, I said to him, because if it's just him, he will keep the car. I said we'll have to make adjustments because of this. So we have the
She's getting used to getting it good. Now she's going back to old school.
Yeah.
And yeah, because all this maintenance thing that goes on is
a lot of Filipinos mindset is that they get paid and they go one day millionaire. For both of us, that because there's money in the bank, we just stop, sleep, we just keep working.
Yeah, we do what we're supposed to do, our actual obligations, because we literally do contracts with everybody. But those days in between, we work so hard to build it. It's like we still need a break. We don't never really get a total break. We need a whole month where the world quits existing for a moment. But obviously, we've been training people. She's training a VA back here in the back right now because we got a big house. And, I'm going to tell you this, if you decide to come over and live with her while she's here, this ain't my house. That ghetto lizard green crap on the wall, you know what I mean? These houses are built out of cinder blocks, concrete, noise echoes. There's some things you have to get used to. Unless you're going to put rugs on the wall, like when you was a teen, do some kind of band type of thing, soundproofing, power backups and stuff like that. You got to get used to it.
This house was totally empty. There was a door, roof, and wall, and some old bamboo chairs and
a hell of a lot of spiders.
That was it.
That big around. I literally got me a BB gun. Where is that thing at? Here's my BB gun, and it's got CO2. And this is what I use. You can see the end of it. I literally use this to shoot them spiders. They're fast.
Spiders, lizards, roach.
Yeah, I murdered the gecko lizard. Was that what is that commercial? Geico uses the gecko lizard. Feel bad about that guy. It's America, he ain't got a hole in him. So I haven't seen that insurance lizard around here because we got what kind of lizard is that back?
Monitor lizard.
A monitor lizard eating our baby rabbits. So yeah. That thing, we tried to catch it on all kinds of methods. He's pretty good at his skill set. He can evade. He's
Sorry, one more thing. Taxes. So for Americans, tax is actually a big deal. Now, for you as Filipina, if you're aware that your husband isn't filing his tax previously, be aware that
Yeah.
the immigration officer or the U.S. consular or embassy in Manila preferred having tax because
Actually filed by the RS.
yeah, because for them it's coming from the government and not just somebody writing it for you or printing
Yeah.
it for you.
We got
instead.
all the receipts. She keeps, oh my God, she does stuff that even I don't do. She literally hand wrote or typed in the computer every damn receipt that we had. I was like, oh no, I left her alone. I was like, you want to do that? You go right ahead. I am not doing it. You want the receipts? Here, there they are. Sift through them.
I don't
But-
want to go to a story about that.
Yeah.
But that's because my sister is an accountant and he used to work for American. So she gave me some thoughts and ideas about that actually to me makes sense. Like when we arrived there, how can you guarantee or make sure that you won't be questioned about anything, right? If not, it's good, but at least if that time comes, you're prepared.
Yeah.
Always anticipate, not assume. Instead, you anticipate. But
But
other,
we see that, like I said, $29,000 is what they're asking for. I could not support on $29,000, by the way, but that's their requirements. I have no idea why it's so low. But that being said, obviously we meet that minimum requirement, and so we're good on that. And the years before that, it wasn't showing no income. I didn't have really a lot coming in other than the truck driver recruiting because I was a truck driver recruiter for the carriers. We still are engaged in that, but
I'd like you to make a video for that too, for those people that we work for.
well, which one?
Okay. When we were recruiting and we were living in commission.
Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, and literally, when you're dealing with people in these countries, back in the United States, what did the carriers start doing to me because they found out I was in the Philippines?
That's a different video.
Oh, sorry. But yeah.
It's a storytelling thing. This is for the visa. But anyway, again, as long as you don't need to have an OCD, but anticipate, don't assume, you're organized, and you never had all that, I don't know if I should say negative history, or you're not married. Things get complicated depending on your history. So to me, I never have kids, never have all that crap, so it's just easy. And he already had his papers when he arrived here anyway. So to me, it's just filing and really reviewing the spelling. If they can't understand all that, then they may have to return it to you.
For citizens, make sure everything is pretty much well consistent. Even on that name spelling, how ridiculous, but it's there. Is it junior? Is it not junior? Da, da, da. You know what I mean? So yeah.
But yeah, so if you have a question, I'd be happy to answer that. Because I did all the paperwork majority.
Yeah,
He did some of the story. Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah. That pretty much gives it in that nutshell. So, if you got questions, literally, if you want to get a hold of us, we do leave the contact information in the bottom of these YouTube videos because we do a lot of them for our students because we have a self-paced course that we teach people about what they want to learn as far as being freight dispatcher, working from home, and all that stuff. We mentor them and everything, but you can literally go to truckdrivernation.com, our website. All of our contact information. There's QR codes where you can pop it up, pull us up on Telegram, WhatsApp. The TikTok thing, we really more or less focus on freight dispatching, but we're on TikTok as well. People can come in and obviously just click on it and we're there when we're actually on there. So try to get people to engage on that. But outside that, I really don't have nothing else to say on it. You have anything?
Yesterday, we met an American here. He's from Arizona. His name is Troy, and his wife is Charity. She asked me, is it true that even though you're Filipino and the immigration officer is Filipino, obviously, because you're leaving the country, right, that they will offload you or reject your visa, or they won't let you out of the country? It is, but it varies. So even if your visa is approved, your petition, then your visa, it's not USCIS or NBC. It's the immigration officer's discretion, whether you're financially capable, you're independent, all that crap. They may still decide to not let you go out of the country. Why? Just because.
I don't know if that's true, but I would not expect, I would expect them to want to pay off.
But it is true because
She ain't gonna say nothing. Yeah, she lives here.
No, some of
Oh,
them
my
are
ass.
actually.
We've had to pay these people off in all kinds of ways. Oh, but it don't exist. They say don't get fixers. The fixers, most of them wear a badge.
inside. But what I'm trying to say is like again, it's not these governments, not from the United States, not the NBC. It's your own immigration officers that can play our game.
Yeah.
But as long as you know the answers, I guess you have direct answers. You're not lying. They don't feel like you're lying to them. I think you should be good.
I come untwisted. I mean, she has to get me, like, she knows she's got to intercede because I have the right to freedom of speech. As long as I'm not threatening your life or disturbing the peace, I'm going to come unglued. You don't sit there and play games with me. We've done everything that you asked, your government asked, your policies and procedures asked, and now you're going to give me a bunch of shit.
I think for that, when you're being asked, just answer the question like, how old are you?
Don't give extra.
Don't give any unnecessary word, even a word. Say, how old are you? I'm 29.
But don't be scared.
Yeah.
Like I told her, she gets nervous sometimes. She has anxiety, and I've got PTSD. Oh my God, what a couple! You know what I mean?
The combination.
You ever heard Santa Claus coming down the damn chimney, and both of us got damn guns and knives and stuff? Who is it? What is it?
That's why when he takes Xanax, he'll have to give me the other half, so it's half of the half.
Damn. Except my drug percentage went way down because I got to share with another anxiety beast. But yeah, but don't be nervous. You know, you've done everything according to their policies, procedures. You have a clear understanding of each other. We've done everything you requested. There it is. Let us know.
That's why while I was waiting, he was asking, you think will be approved? I said, yeah, I'm confident it will be approved because I gave everything that they asked for.
Yeah, it's been going through smooth. Pop, 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 pop. So we don't expect no, difference than that because everything's clear.
What makes it anxious for you is that the wait time, like it's
oh my God,
so long.
You count the minutes sometimes. I go for 2 or 3 days. I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to go home.
Like that alone, the NVC is already a month. I'm like, what is going on? And then just lately, the last time I heard, because they have an email for the NVC. So these information that I don't have handy, I can just put it in the description. It's just really easy. You scroll down to this YouTube, whatever, right? You'll find it there. They don't really respond real time. Sometimes it takes a month for them to respond. But the last thing I heard was they reached out to USCIS. So me as as a beneficiary, you would think that USCIS already sent your paperwork to them because it's already approved. I got no problem with that.
And the whole time, but you're counting the clock.
Yeah.
There's a time frame that you have for this whole application system. It has to be completed.
That too, by the way, your NOA1, Notice of Action 1, the one that you got approved already, it also has an expiration date. So for instance, I think for me, it got approved on January and it be expired on May 8th. So that's what makes me frustrated because they don't respond. They don't have phone number that you can call, and USCIS will not give you a representative anymore because you're already approved with them. They just leave you hanging there. So I can just call and email them, hoping that won't affect my visa application.
Yeah. And I'm not going to leave her side. So what does that do to me? Sitting in damn Philippines with China up your neck, and I'm going, damn, dude,
But based on my readings and different, outspoken people who did the same, it shouldn't affect because, it's not like you're the one playing, only that is because you're not the only candidate. You're not the only participant. They have other people.
And you're talking about with all this technology, API integration and everything. Somebody needs to quit pouring salt on the snail. Okay, it's suffering enough. Let's make this move along. I'm a U.S. citizen, ex-military, went to college there. My businesses are based out of the United States. She's Filipino. She looks like one, quacks like one. She's got a birth certificate. Let us get home type of deal. But yeah,
as long as you comply with what they're asking from you, I'm not worried. It's just what happens when when that approved thing expires. It's not my problem, it's my problem obviously, but it's not on me. I should.
But then she did, hold up, because she forgets to say stuff because we're here talking to y'all. But she did actually give them a call or looked it up. Even past that expiration date, that May the 8th that she's talking about, She said that it's still active or something. Is you going to tell them because you looked at
It
it one
said,
day.
yeah, it said that you shouldn't worry because
I'm worried.
you know when you call centers you have to wait in line. So mine is still in line. That does not disqualify your approved petition. So right now that's what I have information for.
I mean, we could go sit in Costa Rica, then you'd have to read whatever everything because I like Spanish countries. The culture is different type of deal. And we've looked at Costa Rica. We don't know what that's going to look like for us. But at the same time, we're learning how to build outsourcing here. So there is a benefit for this, but we just want to get there. So if anybody has any comments on this stuff, by the way, go into our website, truckdrivernation.com. We'll take a phone call from people if you know something that we don't.
Yeah, for those Phil M couple, if you have a question or if you have information based on my situation, would be helpful. But if you have a question that you need to know about, feel free to ask.
But I expect it to be any day now. It's going to be like this. We get it one day, we got to jump on the airplane, run up to Manila because we're coming from Cebu, and you have to rent a hotel and all that and stay there. You have to pay a babysitter to babysit these animals here because being from a farm, like we say, there's never a day off. Cows got to be milked in the morning and evening. Obviously, we don't have no cows here. But she did learn about her boots because she got her some real cowboy boots from the United States. That if she sticks her pants leg in with one leg out, that means she owns less than 5 cows. If they're both in, 5 cows or more. They didn't even know that exists. And I'm literally from the country.
It's from Troy yesterday.
Yeah, I was like, man, he make that up. I ain't never heard that, but yeah.
I also learned that animals rely to their master. Whatever busyness or however busy you have that day, you have to feed and water them.
Yeah.
Because I'm from the city. I don't really.
Yeah. This was an experiment to let her understand, do you really want to go to the country? So when she talks immigration, she can say, he literally let me experience having animals, chickens, rabbits, everything. We got pocket pit bulls. So she could experience it. So she really knows, do you want to come to the United States? Well, we love each other. Obviously, we want to be with each other. But the life I live, do you really want to do that?
Yeah, so. He would say that, hey, man, rest, sit, watch, whatever. Well, I'm still feeding the dogs.
But she's out there marrying the dogs. She takes an hour to throw some dog food out. United States, hey, it's dry dog food. You get table scraps, so when they happen to come around, that type of thing. But she gets all integrated into it. I get her out there. She's back there washing pee down. And I'm like, no. You don't get it. This is a tropical area. There is no winters. The bacteria here is extremely dense. So, but that's all good. But she'll work. I mean, that's great. I've got she's a country girl. She just didn't know it. So she's got a real tree on. We actually had these made here. So
thanks, Creative Studio.
Yeah, the guys, thanks. Yeah. Biggest thing is these collars. That's the only issue I have. This one's fine, but the other one's kind of sloped down. A little bit of problematic, but anyways. So that's all I have to offer. I know we're going on too long, but
that's the visa for Phil M.
Yeah. So any other questions or anything you might know, but that's been our experience. I hope this helped you guys out. Outside that, you got any final comments?
No. 210-343-1118 if you have questions about this.
She's a truck driver salesman. Oh my goodness. But she's learned to work with Americans. She already did because she came from a BPO, but yeah, she's definitely good at what she does. But yeah. But all right, guys, we appreciate it. Y'all have a blessed one, and hopefully we'll talk to you guys soon.